and we're excited to keep doing that. And we are working on a couple other things, working on our barrel program, working on getting some more stuff coming out of the wood, and I'm going to relax for the rest of the year.
It's done. There you go. Get your future plans, folks.
You deserve it. Yes, we did.
Syrup dripping from his fake robe. Who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he should.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Lager Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is January 11th, Tuesday, that is, January the 11th, 2022. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
Hey, everybody.
How the hell are you tonight?
I'm doing okay. Eating some almonds.
You're eating some almonds.
Well, it's Ayurvedic, so it's been feeling under the weather, so I'm eating some. Oh, wait a second. Almonds are for. The hell are almonds for? Oh, almonds are to help improve memory, so maybe that's why I forgot, because I've eaten enough almonds.
You should eat a few more almonds.
Should be more almonds.
I think you.
I used to work in bookstores, and they always kept a copy of this one book called the Memory Book under the desk.
Mm-hmm.
And when people would come up with a stack of books when they weren't looking, I'd put it in the pile.
Right.
And I'd start to check them out, and I'd pull that book out. They're like, wait a second. I didn't get that. That's not my book. I look, I'm like, are you sure? Sure you don't need this? Only did it the regular customers.
That's pretty funny, though. There you go.
But anyway.
Well, I always tell everybody, I don't really interrupt people, on a regular basis. It's just that I randomly remember things and get really excited. So.
That's fair.
All right,
But since I'm drinking, notice I'm drinking out of my son's. It's the dad mug.
There you go.
It's
your mug from your son.
From my son. It says Dad's mug, and I asked him, why is your mug on my mug?
Yeah, your mug should be on
my
your
mug.
Mug.
Should be on my mug.
Exactly.
Not that wrong, but anyway.
No, it's not really.
No, but I'm using a mug today because I've got a hot toddy in here.
You do have, but why do you have a hot toddy in there?
Well, because one, I was feeling under the weather, and two.
The police are coming to get you? Is that what I hear? That's why you're having a hot toddy?
There's other stuff in this hot toddy. No. Yeah, it's been really, really active.
I was going to say, you got a lot of, before the show, folks, there was about 19 fire trucks that went by. So there's a lot of stuff going on tonight in the city.
I don't think I just saw the truck go by. Anyway.
There you
go. in beautiful downtown Union City.
There you go.
But no, it isn't that. It's one, I'm not feeling too well.
Mm-hmm.
And two, it is National Hot Toddy Day.
Happy National Hot Toddy Day.
So I was drinking. I had a hot toddy, but we BS before the show a little too long, and now it's a tepid toddy.
It's a tepid toddy, or a Luke toddy, as you were.
No, we said before the show, Luke toddy is someone you want to punch in the face.
This is true. Mm-hmm. I knew a Luke toddy once. But
how do you make your toddies?
How do I make my toddy?
Mm-hmm.
Actually, honestly, I don't know if you saw Mr. Beer Whisperer the other day. He was posting something about a honey tea that honey and lemon tea that he uses for a great base for hot toddy. Actually, how I make mine. I'll start with a honey lemon tea.
Yeah.
And add my whiskey to that.
Oh, so I start off with bourbon, honey, lemon, and a cinnamon stick in a pot.
Gotcha.
And then I'll get that almost to boiling, let it simmer for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Then I'll put it in a mug, and then I'll add cold water to it to get it to drinking temperature.
Get it to drinking temperature, sure.
Yeah. Not tepid, but
well, you let it steep for a while. But I mean, I'll put everything in the teapot. Of the tea goes in, the bourbon, everything else, right in there. But yeah, it's pretty. It's funny that he posted that the other day because that's how I make my hot toddies. It's pretty good.
What's really funny though is when I was making hot toddies, I'm like, Sissy puts water in it, so I was doing like 100% bourbon.
There you go.
That'll fix what ails you.
Exactly. So. Is that it? That's just National Hot Toddy Day today, right? There's nothing else?
Oh, it's also National Milk Day.
Happy National Milk Day.
Shout out to Bolero Snort.
Shout out to Bolero. And those of you that know Bolero Snort, you know damn well why we did a shout out to
They must hate us by now.
I'm sure they do. They always did. They always have.
Something else to point out.
What's that?
Your hat, my shirt.
Go for it. Splain away.
So John's got the drink beer, but the R in higher in gold because that's RI for Rhode Island. And
That's correct.
this is Rhode Island. I've always thought that Rhode Island looked like in a small Indiana when its ass shot off.
There you go.
Right, but it's Indiana as a beer mug because it stands Rhode Island as a beer mug because it's for Rhode Island beer. Because everyone knows I spent over a year up in Rhode Island going through all the breweries there, and there were some really good ones.
Yep.
Really, really good ones.
There's definitely tons.
One just moved recently.
One just moved. They were open. They
were
closed the location they were at, moved to a new location, and just reopened.
They did it during COVID.
And they actually closed during COVID. I mean, they were open during COVID, then closed in the middle and moved.
Yep, at the beginning of it, and then they closed and moved. So, what kind of lunatic does something like that?
I don't know, but I think we have that lunatic on the show. Why don't we ask him himself?
Let's ask him.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the show Mr. Efren Hidalgo. There he is right there.
Hey, guys.
Efren, from owner and brewer of Providence Brewing Company in Providence, Rhode Island.
Formerly
of North Providence, Rhode Island. Now of Providence, Rhode Island.
The North.
It's still the oldest brewery in Rhode Island.
Still the oldest brewery in Rhode Island, yeah.
Yep. I think so, yeah. Crazy. Yeah, and the first original brewery returning to Providence.
There you go.
Nice.
There you go. And when did the original Providence brewery open up?
So there were a couple. So there was the Providence Brewery down in Newport, Rhode Island in 1814.
There you go.
Kind of when that went out of business is kind of
That's 208 years ago, if you're keeping track, folks.
Yep.
Oh, look at
And
John with the
then,
math. We don't do math in the show. What's the rule?
We know, but because I haven't opened the first beer on the show yet, so I can still do it. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
So you
Once
got
the
me
sip hits
all
my lips,
excited
then I'm
about
done.
a hot toddy, and
So you're making that.
Good man.
There you go.
Yours is probably hot, not tepid.
yeah, it's a little hotter. Yeah.
So at least you have at least a decently warm toddy at that point. So.
Yeah, so I would say it's a yes, quite warm toddy.
So now, John, your crawl works for both of us.
There you go. Well, I'll put that up. There you go. The drinks, the libations that these two gentlemen are imbibing, right there. Hot toddy, Happy National Hot Toddy Day. There you go.
Yeah, it really does feel good on the throat. I gotta say.
Oh, God,
I gotta tell you. All right.
And John, you're not drinking a hot toddy.
I am not drinking a hot toddy. However, I am going to be drinking my first beer. I'm the only one drinking beer tonight. My first beer is going to be from Carton Brewing, Brewers Board, Austin.
We know those guys.
Austin 1 right there. And I'll pour that off.
Sure that's not an eye.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'll throw the crawl up right there. Austin 1. It's a 4.8% smoked rustic lager.
Ooh.
Now, why did you choose this beer?
Why did I choose this beer? I chose this beer for a couple of reasons.
Okay.
The first reason is that I had it at Carton last Friday night, and it was absolutely delicious. That's the number one reason. Number two, I bought it to have on the show today. Just taking the
Compulsory.
the compulsory picture.
There it is.
And then number three is because today is Mr. John Hall's birthday. Happy birthday, John Hall.
Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday.
Mr. Rausch Beer himself.
Yes, he runs the Facebook page This Week in Rausch Beer. That's just his most recent hat that he wears. He's
Yes,
got 10,000 others. He's a
at least
craft beer
10,000.
columnist for what? Food and Wine, right?
Wine
Or wine enthusiast.
Wine enthusiast, yeah.
Wine enthusiast.
He's the craft beer editor, I believe, for
And-
Wine Enthusiast, yeah.
Ooh.
And then
Ooh,
he does this podcast,
Oh yeah, that thing.
Steal
Steal this beer with
this Rausch beer
with the person who
with Mr. Carton. Can't say his first name.
No.
And Justin Kennedy's involved and everybody else. All
Don't
those
forget-
guys.
Don't
Great-
forget
great
Brian
show,
Cass.
great show.
Don't forget Brian Cass.
Don't forget Brian Cass. Absolutely. No, got it. So anyway, so that's what I'm drinking. I'm drinking my smoked rustic lager. But this show is not about any of that. We just wanted to say happy birthday to Mr. John Hall. This show is about Efren and Providence Brewing. So we might as well dive right into our discussion with Efren tonight. So
Here comes the question.
here
Are you ready
comes
for
the
question.
question. The question of everybody gets the same question.
Yeah.
As well as a couple others, but this is the first one that everybody gets. What was the first craft beer you can remember having? It can be an ish.
Lagunitas Maximus.
Say it again.
Really?
I missed half of that.
A Lagunitas.
Oh, Lagunitas Maximus. Gotcha. Very nice.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's a good first craft beer to have. That's for sure.
It was the first one I had, and it was the first one I don't remember afterward.
I was going to say it's not the first beer to have if you're having more than one.
It's not, definitely not.
And I've been that's been like my go-to ever since.
Jeez, that's a good beer. That's a good beer. Not humble beginnings like Dave and I with some
Sam Adams,
Harpoon,
Yep.
Sierra, Pete's Wicked Ale.
Pete's Wicked,
Yeah, Pete's was great.
Yeah,
Dixie, Voodoo Dixie,
yep.
Voodoo Dixie Black and White.
And you know, growing up in Boston, Sam and Newport. I mean, Sam was part of a staple
Sure.
in Mass. Growing up in Boston, so that was one of those very few that I remember having back in the day.
Very nice, very nice. This beer is, I just want to say, this beer is really, really good. Really super clean, subtle smoke. It's not like drinking, an ember, in your mouth or whatever.
Like a chicory
yeah, exactly.
grill.
Right. And I just noticed on the side of the can, the code name is "Wanna Smoke a Beer." That's the code name of this beer. So. Wanna smoke a beer. So.
Not touching that.
I was just going to say, Clawhammer just did a video of 420 beer that they just made. So it was kind of
There you go.
watching them smoke that beer was pretty interesting.
There you go. There you go. Well, Carton also does Swisher, which the style of that beer, they call it a blunt ale. So,
Yep.
there you go.
Do they empty out a can and refill it?
Pretty much.
Actually, what it does is it's finished. The aromatic hops are all the ones that throw weed.
All of them, every single one, yeah.
But when you you get the smoke and you get the weed in the nose. But when you drink it, you get nothing but beer and cherry.
Mm. Yeah.
So it's
all-
designed
it's all-
to do exactly what kids back in the day used Swishers for, which was to mask the
Yep.
smell of weed on them.
Mhm.
So it's a
And
genius
kids
beer.
don't. Thankfully, my kids don't know anything about that yet.
No.
Yet.
No.
Mine do, and my oldest, the one on the mug here.
There you go.
See, he's looks like he's a band nerd because he was a band nerd. But he's in the Air Force now, and he won't touch alcohol. He won't touch a drug.
Nothing.
Not a thing. He's like militant about it.
That's great.
Pardon the
Tell
pun.
them thank you. Thank you for
quite
service.
literally. Quite literally. So, anyway, all right. What first got you into the craft beer, community? Not even just. I mean, other than, having your Lagunitas Maximus, into the industry, basically. What first piqued your interest into getting into this lovely industry that we're all in love with?
Yeah, so I'll go back to Lagunitas. I mean, it was Tony's book that really sparked my interest. It was reading about how, he went through everything he experienced in order to start up this brewery, and it went from, just having these kettles and then hiring someone to weld some more stainless steel onto it to make them taller so he can ferment more, to having I think his first one was like in what is it, one of those big transport trailers, and it was all electric, and how he didn't die. I mean, it's like all of that insanity.
Right.
Just to get to where he this brand, this amazing product that he created.
Sure.
And that really was the spark of interest in me going from trying a beer for the craft, a real, like a true craft beer for the first time, whether it was his or Sam's or any other. But it was really that moment that when I had that, I realized, this isn't garbage. This isn't garbage liquid. And how do you make it? that really began my interest.
Nice.
Did you homebrew first, or did you just?
I got introduced to I got introduced to. Ooh, that was a little of the toddy coming back.
Was it as enjoyable the second time?
Actually, it is the third time now. Now that it's gone back down, it's great.
There
Um, uh, I got introduced by a friend of mine who we went over to dinner one time, and he handed me a glass of beer. And at that time, I really wasn't interested in beer. I'm more of a bourbon or a Scotch guy. And he's like, "Here, try that." And so, being a good guest, I tried it, and I was like, "Holy crap, what is this?" He goes, "Do you like it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I love it. It's smooth. It's bitter. It's it's got this great sweetness to it." And he's like, "I made it." I'm like, "Get out of town." And so then, as the night progressed and I had more of those, he then showed me his setup in the basement. At first, I thought it was a killing room, but it was his his brewing equipment
And
and
a couple of
No.
rabbits on the side, and
No,
then you
that
were
was-
next. Right, yeah.
That was
Yeah.
the killing room. That was Ravenous' old space.
Right. Oh,
Well, it was the basket and the lotion that threw me off at first, but I got over that pretty quickly when he handed me a porter.
I gotcha.
But yeah, no, and I was like, "You made all of these?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he invited me some other weekend to come down and brew with him. And at that point, when I realized how amazing it was to take these ingredients and turn it into something that within a month, when you're homebrewing, you end up with this beautiful glass of something delicious. And I did that, and thankfully my first beer came out great when I tried it, and then my second beer came out like Band-Aids. Like I just opened up a box of smelly hot dog water and Band-Aids, which nowadays I guess you
That
can
would
sell
sell.
as a sour.
it would sell. Yeah.
Yeah.
That would sell.
Yeah. And you could call it unintentional. There you go.
Yeah. But that's really where it started. It started from a hobby into an interest, and then from an interest into a passion into like this obsession, and then the obsession into an opportunity.
Sure. That's awesome.
An
Yeah.
opportunity. So something fell into your lap, or
Yeah, I left a corporate job and moved to another corporate job closer to home, and that gave me more time back on my hands because I spent like about 20 hours a week commuting, and that gave me back 20
Which
hours.
is always fun.
which means you commuted
Oh,
to
yeah.
you commuted to Boston then, huh?
Yeah, just outside Framingham,
Okay.
which was just as pleasant. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Both of us have
How lo-
been there. We know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
The roads there are almost as dangerous as Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah, Framingham's great fun to drive around.
Oh,
Absolutely.
it's a blast.
Oh, yeah.
to drive around.
Love it.
Oh my God.
Especially that one
495?
that one intersection near Jack's Abbey.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how many people have died in that intersection.
Yeah,
Apparently
it's
not enough to close it down.
No.
So yeah.
It's a thinning the herd kind of deal.
Well, yeah, but
Yeah.
you got to get to Jack's Abbey, so I mean, they had to leave it open. So
Yeah, so that was the
Speaking of
spark that
lagers.
really started it all.
that's awesome.
Yeah, Jack's is awesome.
So let's talk about the old space,
Yeah,
because I remember the old space, and I think I described it to you as the corner basement of a 70s era mall.
It's perfect.
Yeah, it's about
okay,
right.
fair
It
enough.
was cozy.
The corner basement.
Cozy is a great word. Cozy.
The corner basement or the corner of a basement?
Corner of a
The
basement.
Okay.
corner of a basement in a 70s
these
mall. Yeah.
I like that. I like
You know what that mall
Yeah.
reminded me of? It
What?
reminded me like a leftover set from Return to Planet of the Apes, where they're chasing Caesar around. That's what that mall reminded me, because there's stairs going in all these different directions with rails and
Oh
stuff.
man.
There you
Yeah.
go.
It was awesome.
They finally did it, those bastards. Yeah, no, it was what made it special was the fact that it was it was so odd. a place to open up a brewery, and I thought it was like, at the time in my head, I'm going, this is a depressed part of town. It wasn't the best part of Mineral Spring, which, there is no good part.
I was going to say, where's the good part of Mineral Spring?
Yeah. And it's not a knock on the town's road, but I'll tell you, everybody knows that it's a shitty road. Can I swear? Is that okay?
You can swear.
Well, usually we answer that with "watch your fucking language."
Right.
But
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. I'll make sure to curb my language next time. But I'll tell you, it happened to be in the only part of Mineral Spring that was hardly ever jammed up with traffic. And it worked out nicely because we got a lot of local traffic coming in. And it was always one of those things that whenever a new local would walk in, they're like, I never knew you were down here. And it's like, well, there's a reason why. You can't see us, one. We didn't have anything outside to advertise where we were until like about a year into it. And to describe where we were, it's like I always had to put down located in the atrium of 1920 Mineral Spring Ave. The only thing I didn't say was adjacent to McDonald's.
yeah, you would notice the brewery while you were waiting online at the drive-through.
Yeah,
That's probably how you got most of your traffic.
well, that was our biggest competitor.
I actually would think that'd be symbiotic.
Yeah, no, not really.
No.
No, they got more traffic, obviously. Well, I guess you can buy more for $1. But we got a lot of great local traffic, and we turned out to be like this kind of a local speak easy, if you will, kind
Nice.
of a quiet neighborhood brewery, and then we got a lot more, like year 2, we got a lot more traffic coming in, and we started getting a lot more people from outside of Rhode Island. So we got a few folks from like California and Texas who were part of their home brewers. And one of the things that I did on the second year was I provided a recipe to the American Homebrewing group and made the recipe available to anyone and everyone that wanted to try it out. It was our Battle Cow. Battle Cow beer, and it got a lot of great reviews from homebrewers. And to this day, I mean, folks still reach out and ask questions of like hey, if I do this, how do you think it'll work out? And it's kind of cool to get that type of feedback. And I think people are surprised when a brewer actually responds back. And to me, it's like, I'm a home brewer as a background, so sharing is part of my DNA.
Right.
Gotcha.
I remember the first time when I popped in, when I had found it, you were probably pretty well known then, because you only had about 3 beers on tap because you've been wiped out because the Fish concert had come to Boston. And they just decimated your kegs. You only had like 3 beers on tap. I'm pretty certain you only had like 3 beers on tap.
Yeah. We had a 12 tap system, and we filled everything up. And that was the other part of it for us, is like every week we had a new beer on tap. So for the first year, we had a new beer every week. So that was kind of exciting for us.
Nice.
And the same thing with the second year, but on our going toward our third year, right just as we were looking forward to expanding upward into that 70s show set building, the pandemic hit, and unfortunately our elder statesman and landlord passed away. And then it got taken over. The property was taken over, and then we got an eviction notice in the middle of the pandemic. So it was like, Jesus Christ. But
Unbelievable.
Things work out.
They try to work with you, I mean, at least, or
I think at first they didn't quite understand what we were, and much like a lot of folks that don't understand what a brewery is, they automatically assume it's a bar, and therefore it's going to be the same type of clientele, and they don't want that.
Right.
But I think when you realize what a brewery is, and it's like, just a handful of people hanging out, relaxing,
Sure.
the tune changed quite quickly, and he was very happy to help us throughout all of that toward the end.
Nice.
How long were you out between having to get out of the old space and being able to open a new space, which just happened this weekend, right?
Just happened this past Saturday, yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to say 13 months.
Wow. Okay. So it was a while.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Fair enough.
Now the new space.
Did you on that question though, really quick? Did you need the entire 13 months to be able to move everything and get it to where you wanted it, or would less have been more beneficial to you?
Less, obviously. Less would have been perfect.
I don't know how much work you did on the new space. That's my point. That's why I was asking.
Yeah. No, I mean, we did need the time because there was with the pandemic and then with the shortages, it was ridiculous at the beginning because
Sure.
I wasn't going to
Yeah.
pay $100 for one sheet of sheetrock.
plywood. Yeah. No. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like,
Well,
we're going to wait.
Well, there's also a labor shortage during it.
Sure. Fair. Yeah, absolutely.
I know that was insane. But thankfully, like the folks that worked with us, Shocks Construction, they were awesome about it.
Mhm.
And we kept we kept within budget. I can't say under budget, but within budget. It was, if it wasn't for the pandemic and the delays in getting A, help, and B, product, not beer product, but actual building material, we probably would have been open by July or August.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. So it was, I mean, the delay or the length of time it took you to open up this past weekend wasn't so much when you had to be out of your old space. It was just a delay and everything was involving from the pandemic and supply chain issues and all the other
supply chain.
Supply chain.
That's my job.
Yeah.
But
I blame Dave. I blame Dave. Let's blame Dave.
yeah, blame me. That's
Efren, let's blame Dave. Come on.
Logistics
All right.
is my job. That's what I do.
Now I've got a
So-
tepid toddy.
There you go.
No one wants a tepid toddy.
No.
I think they make
Yours has to be a cold toddy at this point, right?
mine's a gone toddy,
It's
actually.
a gone toddy. There you go.
But for tepid toddies, I think they make a pill for that now.
They make a pill for temper toddies, yeah.
Yeah,
so.
it's a little green pill.
It gets it a little
A little stiffer.
it gets it a little it makes the drink a little stiffer. There you
There
go.
we go.
All right, there you go. Yeah.
So-
all right, right.
so
that
now the
time down
new
for an
space.
Open. There you go.
Yes,
Yeah,
so
the
new
we
space.
opened up. The new space is open. We had it was gangbusters. I mean, it was awesome. From the moment we opened the door at noon till the moment we closed at 11 o'clock that evening, we were wall to wall. It was great.
Nice.
Nice. So super
awesome.
spreader event. Great.
Yeah, super spreader. Yeah.
Omicron for everyone. There you go.
But where you are,
I'm glad I was able to share.
Glad
that
you did
with
your
everyone.
part. You know, absolutely.
well, to get us over the curve.
Right. Exactly.
We got to
Yeah.
build the curve before we can get over.
Get
it.
on
So,
the other side
Well,
of it, right?
doing our part.
It's a well-known fact that if you snort beer, you become impervious to coronavirus.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, maybe that's
I've
why
heard
I've never
that. I've
tested-
heard that before.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's why I've never.
Yeah.
tested
Actually,
positive.
it was just about 10 seconds ago. I heard it. That was,
If you snort the beer and then take fresh hops and rub it on your forehead,
that's
that
the
really-
other part.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah,
this is not the methodology that involves the chicken.
not yet.
Not
Dis-
yet.
dis-
That's
disclaimer.
The next variant.
Disclaimer, folks.
None of us are doctors.
Please don't take this for.
But where you are now, I love,
Yeah.
I love where you are now. Sims Avenue, right?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Is
Yep.
great because one of John's, there's a brewery that John loves in Rhode Island, Revivals, right near you.
Oh
correct?
yeah.
Right, almost
Yeah.
next door. You got Industrious Spirits right across the street.
Hmm.
And are they still doing the farmers market in the building there?
every Saturday from 9 to I'd say 1 o'clock.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
And I
a great
gotta
farmer
That's
market.
great.
shout out to Sean Larkin and his
Go for it.
crew, his amazing staff over at Revival and Lost Valley. They were awesome. I gotta say, if it wasn't for Sean and our friendship, I don't think we would be in that space. When I
Wow.
first looked to move there, that was the first person I called and asked, "Do you mind if I open up a brewery here next door to you?" And he told me, "Under no circumstances do I want you near me." And I knew,
That was the right spot.
Yeah, I knew at that point I hit pay dirt, and no, honestly, but I did reach out to Sean and I did ask him if it would be okay, and he's like, I would love for you to be next door.
Now, that's their second space, too. I mean, they moved.
That is,
from
yeah, they moved
Cranston.
from Cranston. Yeah.
Yep. Do they still have the big screens up where they're playing like Lord of the Rings 24/7 and
Oh God, yeah.
Of
Yeah,
course they
and
have
it's-
to, please.
It's
Yeah.
it's such a
It,
great
it
space.
wouldn't be
It's-
Revival if it wasn't for that.
right?
Yeah, it's such a great space, and then they have that outdoor patio in the back of the building. Fantastic.
See, I wasn't there when they opened the space. I was there while they were selling cans out their side door with the easy up. That's
There
Yeah.
you go.
that's what
Yeah.
I remember of their move.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I love the neighborhood that we're in. I love the fact that, like you said, we've got Isco across the street. We've got Sean and Revival and his group right next door to us. It really is going to, in my mind, we've become a destination area.
Yep.
And with the Steel Yard and with Tallulah's opening up their taqueria in that space.
Oh,
and
really?
all of the
Tallulah's is opening there.
Yeah, they're opening up in
Oh.
that same complex that we're in, and I mean, there's a bunch of other great businesses there. There's Reds, there's New Harvest. There's I'm just giving shout outs to everybody.
Sure.
Go
Go for it.
right ahead.
Toffee,
Absolutely.
yeah, Anchor Toffee.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
They moved
and
out
then,
of. I used to live in the building where they used to be located.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, where was that? Over in Pawtucket?
Pawtucket.
No.
Yeah, Pawtucket. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in
Yeah.
the loft apartments behind the Met, where
Yeah.
they used to have the indoor winter market.
Yep.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's such a great space, and it's going to be even more incredible during the warmer months.
Did the coffee company move over there too?
New Harvest is right there as
Oh, that's
well.
right. You
So
mentioned
it's-
the New
Yeah,
Harvest.
you
I knew that was.
Yeah.
I knew that sounded familiar.
So it's kind of great because, I mean, like Isco is open till 10 and folks head on over to New Harvest until 11 and, and then we're open till 11. So we've got music blaring. They've got music going on.
It's beautiful.
We've got a cross pollination. Folks are then heading over to Revival. I mean, it's awesome.
That's great.
That
That's a
is
great
great.
area. Yeah. Definitely we'll be up there soon, and we'll pour
I
a
hope
couple
so,
beers.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, last time I was up there, I wanted to get to the market because God, I love the market.
Yeah.
Bakeries that are there. What 5 star, 4 star, 3 star? How many stars? is that?
5-star.
5 star. Love
Yeah.
those guys. One of the donut places is there. Not PBB,
Yeah.
the other one.
No.
I just forgot their name. It just blanked on.
Oh,
us,
they're
man.
right. Yeah, I just blinked
Yeah.
on it too. They're
Right
like
around the corner.
2 boots down from my door.
There you go.
Oh, then I know exactly where you are.
Hold
then,
on, we'll
Victor.
rewind tape, and you can say it the right. Never mind.
But the and I was actually telling
Dating myself.
Carrie-
Rewind the tape. Sure. Okay.
all the
You're
millennials
watching
watching
it,
go,
don't
what is he
break
talking
it.
about?
Tape. What is this? This
You
is
just
tape
hit-
you speak of.
You just moved the slider down.
My dog is the devil. My dog is the. Oh, that's a record. Sorry.
That's a record. That's not. What's a record?
What's a record?
Vinyl? What?
Oh,
Vinyl?
you pour more beers than anyone else. That's a record.
Yeah.
There you go.
But no, I was telling
Anyway.
Carrie the mushrooms that you can get in the market, and there's not the magical kind, so don't get too excited. Or we can say
All of a sudden, people listening to this are driving right over there. Mushrooms? What?
Mushrooms.
Yeah.
lining up again.
Psychedelics in the market. Anyway, question for you. So the first base opened. What would you open in 2018? Right, the first base.
Yes.
2018.
Yep.
So you were there. So basically about 2 years.
2 years. Yep.
2 years, and then obviously had to close 13 months later. Boom, you're in the new space. So,
Yep.
gotcha. So, beautiful. I mean, so I mean, where you are now, it was obviously a little, unexpected and annoying how it happened, but all things happen for a reason, right?
Exactly.
I've never believed that.
Well, clearly, I mean, it worked out that way.
I know.
So.
But sometimes shit happens. It's how you react to it. And
Well, shit does
Efren
happen.
reacted to it well.
Right. You have to. It's
like
how you react to the shit happening that makes the statement "all things happen for a reason" come into play. Right.
You either stand in front and keep getting the shit thrown in your face, or you move and get out of the way.
Right.
Because
get out of the and just go around. Just take a left and forward or a right and forward. Either way, just don't stand where you are.
Exactly.
Walk away from just standing there. Yeah, exactly.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck.
I would.
You know what my luck
in
is?
In many cases, I would. I'm never going to comment on that one because I think.
Well, it's a Star Wars quote.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, okay, Han.
You know what? Typical luck is?
Bad luck.
No, typical luck is a bald guy winning a comb.
Yes. That's called Murphy's Law.
Right, exactly. So.
Hey, if it wasn't for bad luck, you wouldn't have any luck at all.
Any luck at all, right? Exactly.
And now we went into rock and roll references.
There you go. All right. So, anyway, all right. All right. Tell us about the brewery a little bit. What's your brew house?
So I've got a 6-barrel unit. It's the original 6-barrel unit that we had in our previous space. When I sit and look at it or stand and look, it's amazing that I'm able to fit so much in about 200 square feet. Okay. So it's our original 6-barrel unit. I was looking to get something bigger, but given the monetary constraints during the pandemic, I didn't want to venture too far out of my pocket. So I opted to bring this one in. They thought future in the sense that if I upgrade, I can upgrade to like a 10-barrel electric unit or gas unit. And capacity right now for about 24 to 30 barrels of beer between in conditioning inside of our bright tanks, and then capacity for another 20 or so barrels more inside the walk-in.
Nice.
Yeah.
And you have just all 6-barrel fermenters, or you had a couple of 12s for double batches? And
I've got it's
12s,
funny.
15s.
Yeah. Well, I've got one. You'd be surprised. So I've got 2 6s and 2 3s. The equipment that I have allows me to brew 2 3-barrels simultaneously, or 6-barrel batch, and then move those. All
right, I'm with you. All right.
And then our bright tanks are equivalent to those as well. So we're able to move stuff around pretty quickly.
That's right. And you got enough for 24 barrels at a clip in the brights, and then over in the fermenters as well.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome. Very nice. Very nice. And so what do you talk about a couple of your core beers? You have flagships, or are you one-offs, or what do you how you doing? I'm assuming you have a couple of flagships.
I do. I have a couple flagships. One of them, obviously, is our Battle Cow Galacticos, which is our favorite one. That's typically around an 11% triple IPA. Multi-backbone. Yeah, it's our flagship.
It's a tipper.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Flagship triple IPA.
Kid. Yeah, it's
we don't fuck around here. We get right to it.
Fucking around on TV.
No, it's kind of funny because when we first opened up over in North Providence, my wife and I did a lot of research. We went to different breweries and
it's work. It's work,
and no one on the audio podcast saw that.
All right,
right.
He lifted his hand up to his mouth, folks, and he tilted it a little bit.
Right.
You can take it from there.
It's research.
It's research.
Yeah, it was research. I swear.
I'm doing air quotes right now.
It is research.
Yeah. And one of the things that we realized is that there was a tremendous underserved market, and that was the female market, obviously. Because when you went to a lot of these breweries, it was couples, guys pounding down these double IPAs, bitter, hoppy, and you'd see their other half, the other half, like whether wife or girlfriend or friend, they would just be sipping this small little taster glass, not really enjoying their time.
That would be a good name
And
for
so,
a brewery.
what's that?
Class?
Other half.
Tiny.
Oh.
Oh, the other half. Yeah. Other half. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that could be successful.
I think I'll open in Brooklyn. I think.
Yeah. I think that. Yeah. I think they
Yeah.
should have. I think I would have at least 2 places in New York.
Or 19 places at this point.
Actually, they're at 4 right now. They just
God.
they just opened a tap room in Rockefeller Center.
Rock Center. They're opening one in Philly, and they're opening one in Washington D.C. too, I believe. Right?
So they're going to be up to 6.
Yeah.
Where the beer flows like wine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
Anyway.
it was interesting. Yeah. So we did a lot of research.
Research
And
is good.
from-
Research is good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we did when we opened up, it was like we offered a lot of beers that were low ABV, had a lot of flavor to them, not very hoppy, but very flavorful. And we realized that we got a huge female clientele. And of course, when a girl is like, "Hey, honey, let's go to a brewery," the guy's like, "All right, let's go."
Yeah.
And
He doesn't have to be asked twice. He can just the keys are in his hand. He's walking out the door. Let's go.
Yeah, and so
I'm sorry. His phone's in his hand. He's calling the Uber. Let's go. There you go. That's better.
Yes, we do responsibly.
Yeah, and so what I really quickly realized too was that there were no hop heavy, no bitter, no high ABV beers, and so for a lot of folks that became problematic, and so we didn't get a lot of guys coming in looking for that heavy stuff, and then we got slammed a couple times. Oh, they don't make anything. They don't know how to make beer that's like more %. Well, any good home brewer worth their salt will tell you that the first beer they always make is something that breaks the bank in ABV. So, I was like, okay, I'm gonna slowly introduce higher alcohol by volume beers, and one of the first ones that we really kind of put out there was the Chuck. And having grown up in Boston, the Chuck is a great little loving name for the Charles River, and because it's the Charles River, you never really know what's floating in it.
Did you brew it with garbage, or did you?
No, no. But I did brew it with.
You can go to the
with
Blackstone
orange
and get
rind.
that. You don't need to go to the Chuck to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but we brewed it with like orange rind in it and some chocolate, and it was really great because it was it tasted like one of those chocolate orange balls that you get at Christmas.
Oh, cool.
What are they called?
Yeah. Chocolate orange ball.
Chocolate orange balls.
Yeah, they're Italian or something.
Right.
Chocolate orange balls.
Chocolate orange balzos.
Chocolate
Yeah,
orange
Spanish.
balls. Those, yeah.
Garbanzos.
And then
It's funny. Last time I had orange juice in Hershey, I had chocolate orange balls too, but that's besides the point. So.
Did
Yeah,
it
boy.
clear up?
It did. Went away. Took a couple days. It was good. I took a pill. It was good. We're good.
Oh my. I don't know what
See,
to say here.
talk about derailing. So
Yeah.
anyway, so the Chuck. Back to the Chuck. So you make the
So
Chuck.
So we made the Chuck, and then we did a couple other beers, and then we did Battle Cow Galacticos, and people were like, "Oh my God, that's like 10%." And then I came out with 16% ABV smooth stout called Oh My Soul, and that one was like this beautiful. It was coffee. It was chocolate. It was just you couldn't even tell that there was any booze in it. By how and I think a great deal has to do with the brewing equipment because as a home brewer you're constantly stirring the mash, and in our equipment we're constantly stirring that thing to get as much of the sugars that we can get. And then that nickname quickly dissipated, and people realized, oh shit, these guys know they know how to make some heavy beer. So we have the Battle Cow. Boy, that was the question, right? What are some of my cornerstone beers?
And some of the other.
Yeah. So Battle Cow is one. Oh My Soul will probably be one that I'll probably bring back. We had an Oreo stout that we did, and I think people want that one back as well.
Right.
And then we just released one they opened called Pound Town, and that was amazing. I mean, right off the nose. I mean, it's like a tropical fruit bowl in your face.
Nice.
Yeah. And it's at 8%. It's 7.7%. I mean, it's really not something to scoff at.
No, not at all.
And lots of citrus, and just smooth going down. Too smooth.
You would
I
think
think.
with a name like Pound Town it'd be a session, but it doesn't
You'd think
appear
that.
that it doesn't appear you do sessions.
There's a couple of ways you can
No.
go with that, but we'll leave it alone.
Well, I have to give credit to one of
Yeah, he froze on us. Okay, I thought I froze again.
No. It's Efren.
So I froze before.
We're waiting. Standing by.
Standing by.
We're pausing. There we go.
Is
He's
it?
back. You're back.
Oh,
You're
you're
back.
back.
Oh no.
You have to give credit to.
I have to give credit to one of my staffers, Melissa, for coming up with the name Pound Town. I mean, it was great. I mean, she's just like, how about calling it Pound Town? And I'm like, okay.
We're not touching that.
There you go. All right. On that note,
We do have a question.
not to derail what we're talking about, because I do have a couple other questions on the beers you're brewing. But Douglas Smith, we have a comment here. Douglas Smith wants to know: is this the Providence Brewery that's actually in North Providence? Where's the new location? Thanks. There you go. So,
Which means he was not on during the beginning of the show.
he missed the beginning of the show.
Right.
So.
So, Doug, it is the same Providence Brewing Company that was on in North Providence, right there on Mineral. And we did move over to Providence, 10 Sims Ave, inside of the new Farm Fresh building.
There you go. Perfect. Great location too. If you missed all of that too, go back when we're done, Doug, and watch maybe about 15 minutes before this and hear about all of the businesses and a couple of the breweries that are right in the whole neighborhood. It's a really good experience. You want to get over there and check it all out. Back to the beers, though. What are some one-offs that you've done? Maybe some special beers that you even have right now, or that you did for the relaunch?
So one for the relaunch that is Tattoo of Blood, which is our favorite sour. It's a hibiscus sour that we came again. That one is very special and near and dear to us. But this one was 7.4% beast, and it's hazy. It's sour. It's like 3.1 pH, and it'll suck the moisture out of your mouth, and then keep you refreshed.
There you go.
Nice.
Very nice.
And then I've got. Then we have two. Surprisingly enough, we have 2 session IPAs on tap as well. One is we did a Kvik yeast, Voss Kvik, and then we did another session with a K97 German ale yeast on that one. It just they're both uniquely different. The K7, the German ale yeast, that one is really resiny and piney.
Okay.
And then the Kvik is very citrusy.
Nice.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And
That's
I
great.
love
And-
the citrusy IPAs. You know
Absolutely.
Yep.
Doug wanted to say awesome. We'll visit for sure. He said so. There you
You better.
go. We'll all go together. There
that.
you
We'll find you.
go. We will find you. So
I'll give you a ride, Doug.
there you go. Let's pause for a second. I'm going to open up my second beer.
Really?
Yes, I am.
And from what I understand, you're actually drinking a second lager.
I am drinking a second lager. I'm going to throw it up on the screen right here. There we go. I am drinking Hollow Sea from Cane Brewing.
Tmave Pivo.
It's Tmave Pivo. It's which is a dark Czech lager, or a Czech version of a Schwarzbier, which you all know. Anybody watches the show, you know I'm a Schwarzbier whore. So there you go.
As we
this
said
beer,
before,
and
just remove Schwarzbier from it.
just before,
and-
well, this
and
is true.
That's accurate as well.
And what's cool about what they did with Hollow Sea, what Cane did with Hollow Sea this year, they actually, hold on, I got to take my compulsory picture.
There we go.
See, I got it right.
Yeah,
There,
right.
there you go.
We can also go with obligatory.
Obligatory
That
will
works.
work.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got to just get the angle here.
We
we
the
go.
show will be releasing its thesaurus
We
in
will.
2023.
Absolutely. Nose feel is the number one word that we're adding.
Nose feel. Yeah, so nose feel. There's two words that we really like to propagate on this show. One is nose feel, which is from, and I always forget his name.
Eric.
Eric. I thought it was Eric. I just want to make sure I was right.
Eric Cohen.
I love that.
Better known as Eric Nosefield Cohen.
Yeah, because he would come to the bottle shares, and he purportedly does not know anything about craft beer.
Not at all.
He would always bring the best bottle.
Ironically, he would show up with the best bottle.
Every time. And he would then make fun of us beer nerds. And he'd sit there with his beer going, oh, the nose feel on this is amazing. So we adopted that.
We've adopted that, right?
The other one that we propagate on this show, you're very familiar with, Efren, is Liz Pour.
Liz Pour, right?
God, love it.
There
That's
you go.
awesome. I know you have to incorporate a Liz Pour shot in
Absolutely.
everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's awesome. Love you, Liz.
There you go.
I hope she's watching. She's the one who approved this to show up on Rhode Island Craft Beer Community.
Exactly.
Awesome.
And ironically, though, we've talked about this before on the show too. I'm in Belmar, New Jersey. I'm 4 blocks from the beach in Belmar, and about maybe 15 minutes from me is Source Brewing in Colts Neck in Monmouth County. One of the owners, Greg Taylor, Liz is his cousin. So it's just a little irony there.
So
and
it's funny.
It's so funny. She heads down to Jersey all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where she goes. So you'll see check-ins, up on the site. Her and Irv drinking Source beer.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just want to point out one thing Kane did this year is they actually put this Tomave Pivo. They put it in 19.2 ounce cans, not 16 ounce cans. So when I went and picked up my 4-pack, I'm like, something's odd about this. So these cans thinner, because you look at it really quick and you're like, wait, the can's thinner. No, it's not. It's the right size. They're just taller. That's all.
Taller.
You saved me one of those, right?
No, I drank them all.
Oh, you bastard. So
What are friends for?
yeah,
Absolutely. Yes, I saved you one. You painted
well,
it.
put it this way. John and I see each other so rarely that when we save each other beer, we actually have to go to Portland, Maine to exchange beer.
The last time no, not the last time. The second to last time we actually exchanged beer that we saved for each other, we did it in Portland. So,
I have opened my second libation.
Why don't you? I'm going to take a sip of this while you open your second libation.
You do that. No, it's open already. It's poured. I've actually been sipping on it a little bit because as we know, I have a gone potty.
So good.
But I've opened a mead.
Oh,
I'll
nice.
throw it there. There you go.
And I've opened up Midnight Jack from Melovino. And there's a
Midnight
reason I
Jack.
would. Oh, this is all, what is it? It's blackberry. It's all the dark, a lot of those dark berries is in this. And it is just fantastic.
This is great. Yeah. And in fact, when we had Sergio, the owner of Melovino,
Sergio,
on the show,
funny you should mention Sergio.
when we had Sergio on the show last year, that was one of the ones that I actually drank on the show.
Yeah, blackberry, black cherry, black currant, and raspberry. It should be black raspberry.
Oh, wow.
And funny I should bring up Sergio.
It's funny you should bring up Sergio because today, as well as John Hall, it's also Sergio Motello's birthday.
Happy birthday, Sergio.
Happy birthday, buddy.
There you go. All right. So we got them both in.
It's a landmark birthday for him.
It is a landmark birthday for him. He is 20.
Yeah, he is 20.
He's 20.
Twice.
40 years old today, yeah. Sergio Mutella. There you go. All right. So we got the birthday shout-outs out of the way.
Yeah.
And how is that mead?
I love this mead. This mead is this is absolutely fantastic.
I wonder how a black and, well, not tan, but like paint.
black
and blackberry.
No. Look at the color of this.
Black
That is
and black.
That
Wow.
deep purple.
Black and ruby. How's that?
Ruby, tawny. Let's go with tawny.
Tawny. Black and tawny would be with this
Seriously,
policy.
this is the color of port.
Of course it is. Yeah, definitely.
And actually drinks a little like port, believe it or not. Now
Wow.
that I think of it.
It does. It actually does.
It drinks like port. Oh, God, and I love port. I need more port in my life.
More port. There's back there on the bar back there behind. Well, actually, this is the last show, the last craft beer show. The last
I'll have the Christmas Village.
At the Christmas Village, and everything will be up. But right back there, there's actually 2 bottles of port back there. So
Nice.
So.
You drink port, Efren?
I don't.
Oh, it is a joy.
I wish I did. My dad loved it.
Yeah. Port is fun.
Considering the huge Portuguese population in Rhode Island, you'd think you could get some really good port in Rhode
There
Island.
you go.
Oh, I'm sure we could. Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Whatchamacallit? Any releases? Any special stuff coming up this year, soon, next month, whatever?
So
What's on deck?
What's on deck?
What's on
There you
deck? So I've got in the works a stout that I'm going to be conditioning in a barrel that was conditioned, or that will be conditioned in hot sauce.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
So-
amazing.
Interesting. All right.
yeah. So it's going to
Can
be.
you mention the hot sauce, or you want to leave
No,
it till
no,
the?
I can't.
Okay.
Yeah, and
Well,
and you know
it'll be
it's just
released when you
conversation.
release it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I
and
got you.
so it'll be quite fun because it's
This
going to be a
information is
hot
on a
sauce.
need-to-know basis, and at this particular point in time, no one needs to know.
You don't need to know. No, but the cool thing is, it's like, you know, it was a great conversation. We were trying to figure out how are we going to combine our two opportunities, and then we started talking about barrel aging, and then the whole conversation revolved around, well, you know, if we take a barrel aged in this, and what could we use it for that? And I'm like, you know, whatever you do with your barrel, I want it after,
There you go.
because I'm just going to fill that thing up with chocolate and beer and coffee.
There you
Okay,
go.
so we've got to watch and see
Yeah.
when that gets released.
Yeah, we
And
just got to
we
let
need
us know ahead of time when it's going to release, and we'll just make sure we get up there for that week.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'll say one thing. I've said it quite often. I do. Rhode Island is my adopted state. Even though I was there for only a year, I did something very, very different than most Rhode Islanders.
You stopped at a stop sign. You
That's
used
it.
your blinker with an appropriate amount of time before you made your
Not
turn.
as you're making the turn. Yes, I've
Right,
noticed
right.
that was a
Slip
habit
it on
there.
as you turn. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I actually moved
Yeah.
around to all four corners of the state.
yeah.
Well,
Because
that only took you one day, so I mean, what else did you?
it takes most Rhode Islanders a lifetime. It's what
Yeah.
more than half an hour away is forever in Rhode
Right.
Yeah.
Island. But I saw every corner of the state, and I just
Folks,
fell in
just
love
to
with
give
the
you an
state.
idea, if you're not familiar with Rhode Island, take a look at Dave's shirt. That is the actual size
Yes, this is
of Rhode Island.
this is 1.1.
Right.
But it's no. I moved all over, went everywhere, every all four corners of the state and everywhere in between. Love the state, miss the
Yeah.
state. So, you know, I
It's
like
my adoptive home.
There you go.
Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Boston.
Yeah,
There you go.
so you didn't
Yeah.
go too far. But
No,
not that
no.
far.
I mean, I actually left the city to move into a city. Yeah, no, it was kind of fun.
One city for another.
yeah.
There you
Yeah.
go. Doug Smith just said stop signs are suggestions in Rhode Island.
they are. But the interesting thing in Rhode Island that I find really funny, it's almost a given that people will yield the right of way. I've seen people at a red light stop, and it's the first in the red light, and let three people making a left in front of them before they go, pissing off everyone behind them. I've seen people stop dead on Mineral Spring to let someone off of a side street. So even though they don't stop at stop signs, they'll stop dead in the middle of a busy road to let someone in. Which in New Jersey, if you don't take your right of way, it's expected you take your right of way. And if you don't take your right of way, you are the asshole.
Mhm. And you will find out that you are
Yes.
very quickly,
Well, they're
whether
saying
you want to or not.
it's either the horn or you're number one.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. And
It took a while to get used to driving in Rhode Island.
Doug is originally from Providence. He just said. So.
And he knows.
There he knows.
Yeah, and rotaries. Yeah, there's you just cut right through it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
Well,
go through a straight line.
Jersey, I actually taught a few of my friends how to pass on a traffic circle.
Yeah, they're not rotaries in Jersey. They're traffic circles. They're not
We
rotaries.
call them traffic circles. Yep.
You're
Yeah,
silly.
we fought a war to not have to call things what the British call them.
Yeah, same thing.
Oh no, they call them
What
roundabouts
name?
in England. They call them
They
roundabouts.
call them roundabouts.
Roundabouts.
Yeah.
Roundabout.
That's right.
Well, no.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, especially in New England, not so much anywhere else, but especially in New England, if you're using your GPS and your iPhone or anything like that on maps or whatever, it'll call it a roundabout.
Will it?
It'll call it a roundabout. Yeah.
Oh, those slimy bastards.
There you go.
And what is it? A sleeping policeman is a bump? A speed bump?
Yes,
Sleeping
right?
policeman. There you go.
Do you know who invented the speed bump?
I
don't
could
know.
think of a few people, but
We
I'm
should
not
have-
sure.
we should
I'm
have
sure
had
they're
this on-
wrong. So.
We should have had this on the last show. This last show was National Trivia Day.
This is true.
It was actually Albert Einstein.
He invented the speed bump.
When he was in Princeton,
Mm-hmm.
he got so tired of the cars tearing. Now, granted, tearing. What was the top speed of cars back then? About 15, 20 miles per
20
hour.
miles an hour. Yeah.
Yeah, tearing past his house. So what he did is
Tearing ass past his house at 20 miles an hour.
So what he did is he went outside and he just made a mound of dirt across the road to slow their asses down. He, in effect, inventing the speed bump.
There you go. That works.
There you go.
True story. You can look it up.
Not to add to that, because this has absolutely nothing to do with anything we're talking about, except for Albert Einstein. But Jess and I would go, obviously not the last couple of years, but New Year's Eve's, that guy, yeah. New Year's Eve's every year, we go to this place right in town, Marina Grill. We go up for a steak dinner and hang out.
Oh, that guy.
Way too many old fashions. And then we'd stay there for, champagne toast at midnight, hang out. They'd have a band. Stay there about 1 o'clock and stumble home. I'll say stumble home. We'd walk up there. It's not far. Anyway, every single night, every single time that we've never seen him at any other point at Marina Grill or anywhere in town for that matter, but every single New Year's Eve that we spent up there, we have seen the same gentleman and his wife, older gentleman in his probably mid to late 70s, I would guess. He is Albert Einstein's clone.
He looks like this guy.
Well,
Wow.
No, he looks more like Albert Einstein than that does. And if I had I
wanted
mean,
to share
identical.
just
I'm not even saying similar. It looks like Albert Einstein. He does.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's funny, and we see him every year, and only on New Year's Eve. But anyway, go ahead.
So little known fact: Sigourney Weaver was the one to invent the left-hand turn signal.
The left-hand turn signal.
Left-hand turn signal. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, that's it.
Oh, I thought there was something. I thought there was like a punchline or something.
No punchline. I just wanted to give her credit.
Sigourney Weaver invented the left-hand turn signal.
Yep.
You mean when you're biking?
No. Just in
On the
general.
car.
It doesn't have to be a car.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
Just a
irrefutable.
random fact. Yeah,
Random
no, it's
fact.
completely. Yeah, it's
There you go.
on the internet. Yeah.
Sigourney Weaver invented the left-hand turn signal. There you
Yeah.
go. Who invented the right-hand turn signal?
I don't know. I think it might have been Arthur Thrush.
There you go.
Yeah.
Arthur Thrush. There you go.
Nice.
Anyway, okay. Why don't we talk about?
Before we go there, you're missing. Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to say what we talked about some beers coming up. Obviously, you talked about the hot sauce one. Any events coming up this year for the brewery?
I mean, if COVID permitting, I mean, without COVID, it'll be tough to decide. But there's, we've got an event coming, not at the brewery that we can think of at the moment. We're just ecstatic to be back. So we'll see how it goes.
You've hit the big time when Big Nazo shows up at one of your events.
There you go. There you go.
That'd
All
be
right.
fun.
What were you going to bring up, Dave?
Exactly what you were going to bring up.
What's that?
Events.
Oh, that. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And Efren went black.
He's blacked out.
What?
He's blacked out.
I think,
Am I? Oh, wait.
Efren's gone plaid. No,
he's gone.
It's gone bad. I don't know what's going on. I'm
There
here.
you go.
I can hear you guys. I'm
There you
here.
go.
Yeah, no, I think it's.
Oh,
just
you're
that-
back. You're back. You're back. You're
There
there.
we go.
There you go. It's like every once in a while, your phone just like kind of like I'm going to close my eyes for a minute. And then it opens back up.
Gets tired.
There
These
you
guys are boring.
Right.
It's an Apple phone. Go figure.
There you go.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Don't get us started on Apple.
I know exactly. I mean, I'm on a computer, but it's an Apple. It's an iMac. But anyway, all right. Before we get to the top threes,
Before.
all right, because we had what, ladies and gentlemen, what you may or may not know is that on occasion, and not all the time, but maybe about half the time, depending on the guest and whether we know them or not or whatever. Sometimes we will ask the guest if they have any suggestions for the top three list. Now,
And knowing how creative and funny
and knowing how
Efren
creative
is.
and yeah, exactly, and like Efren fits the bill of the people that we would ask or not.
So, previous guests who we did not ask, please don't. No, go ahead. Take it.
No.
don't take
We've asked them unless, and I'm going to just put a disclaimer on it, unless we already have something that we definitely want to do. So
Yeah,
don't.
this is true.
If you're a previous guest and you listen to this, don't feel slighted that we didn't ask you because you're not as creative as Efren might be, but. We may have already had one that we and most
except
we
for
may have.
no. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to bring him.
No, you don't bring him up. No.
We won't mention him.
Let's put it this way: if we don't ask you, honestly, if we don't ask you what your suggestion for a top 3, we already have one we want to do. So leave it at that.
We'll keep digging.
We'll keep digging.
The
I'm
hole
done.
get- the hole
I'm
get
done.
deeper. The
I
hole get
got it
deeper.
down. We're done. We're at the bottom. There we go. All right. So anyway, so listen up. So anyway, so we'd asked Efren what he might want to do for a top 3 list, but we didn't hear back from him, so we decided to do what we're going to do tonight. But we're going to hold off on that a minute because he did get back to us earlier today.
The great suggestion.
What a great suggestion, Dave. Go take it.
So Efren messaged me after John had actually posted, and we said what the top 3 was going to be. The top 3 drinks, and probably alcoholic drinks, in science fiction shows. I know you said movies, but your first choice was actually from a TV show. So we're going to go with shows.
Shows. Right.
So we'll let you run through your 3s, and John will. And
I
will
only
tack
have
on.
one, but have at it. So we're going to just do it. This is kind of a bonus top 3 kind of a thing, or it could be a top 1. I only have one.
I only have like 1 or 2.
So there you go. So we'll let Efren say where he was going with his suggestions. Go ahead.
Sure. So I have 3 sci-fi movie / TV drinks that I've always loved and would love to try. And the first one is obviously Romulan Ale from Star Trek.
Which is probably the first ever alien alcoholic drink ever mentioned anywhere.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you think
Probably.
about it.
Yeah.
Right. I can't think of anything that would have, preceded that.
Neither. I mean, unless Douglas Adams wrote Hitchhiker's Guide prior to that, I
No, I
No.
don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah.
And just the color of Romulan ale, it's like, yeah, I want to try that.
Right.
Yeah.
It
The
looked
color,
like,
yeah. It looked delicious, but I'm afraid to see what it looks like coming out. It's like, it's like Chambord. Chambord is so yummy when it goes in, but doesn't look so yummy when it comes back out.
well, what's funny is it looked like the blue raspberry Gatorade before blue raspberry Gatorade was even invented.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is true. There you go. Okay. So is this 3, 2, 1 or 1, 2, 3?
So based on my favorite, so the last one will be my all-time favorite that I wish existed. So the second one obviously is Luke Skywalker's Fireball whiskey request out of the cantina on Mos Eisley. I almost kind of feel like it's like every 21-year-old or 21 wannabe-year-old's first drink.
Of course it is. Yeah.
Yeah, like a whiskey sour. I mean, it's that at that point, you got to card them.
And the question is, was the blue milk that the Chandra fan drinks, was that alcoholic or was that non-alcoholic?
If it was, it seems
a
like
bar.
it wasn't. Yeah.
It's a bar. I
don't know.
I can't see Wooher actually serving something non-alcoholic at the bar.
Well, I mean, the Galaxy's Edge, if he's sucking on the teat of a alcoholic, cow.
Maybe the owner of the teat was drunk and not necessarily a cow.
Oh man. Yeah. And then finally my all-time favorite is going to be the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy's Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster. I mean,
Wait. Say that one more time. What is it?
It's the Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster.
There's a hyphen in the first word.
That's right.
And do you want to describe what it was like to drink it? Do you remember?
It was as if you got you took a drink and you got a brick slammed into your head.
I think like having your brain bashed out by a brick wrapped in a lemon. Right? A lemon peel.
A lemon peel. Yeah.
Nice.
The lemon peel just made it just ever so perfect.
Softened the blow.
That's funny.
And then just put a towel over your head and you're good
Right.
to go.
That's funny.
Yeah, when I saw you send that list and I saw Pan-Galactic Gargle Blaster, I'm like, there we go.
Oh man.
Douglas Adams.
Yeah.
Had
That's
some
pretty
beautiful
funny.
stuff.
Such a great author.
You mentioned
Oh, yeah.
you mentioned before Blue Milk,
Yeah.
and that was actually a beer from Carton. At one
It
point.
was. It was oh god, it was I'm not going to talk about
It was
that
it
one.
was Blue Milk.
It was
there
it was
you go.
blue.
It was blue. It was
It
a
was
blue
milky.
beer.
It was blue.
I think Jay Wakefield had a little bit to do with it, didn't he? If I recall?
Put it this way, there were some places that were complaining because their tap lines got stained.
So Anyway.
Anyway,
Okay, so what's yours? What you have one or two?
no, I'm really well, two basically, because there was, and these are the second. This one that I'm going to bring up actually is just, I think, really fans or something adding stuff on to what was served in the cantina.
Sure.
And there's one that I just thought had a great name. It's called a barium fizz, which was something apparently were invented at the cantina. Apparently, he was like the greatest bartender in the whole Star Wars continuum. Sure. The only bartender I think name or was given a name. So that's but name the band.
Oh, you know what? If you give me a hint or two, I can get it, but I can't think of it right now.
Figure and Dan and the Modal Nodes.
Yes,
everybody. Yes. Anyway, but the one I'm going to add to it, and I'm sure Efren's going to remember this. I'm sure you'll remember it. Ambrosia from Battlestar Galactica.
Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah, Starbuck and Apollo and Boomer. Actually, Ambrosia never made a showing on the reboot.
Right, they never came up.
No,
it was always whiskey.
Yeah, it was drinking whiskey. Where Starbuck became female, and Boomer, rather than a black man, turned into a small Korean woman.
There you go.
But there was no Boxy.
No, what happened to Boxy and right? and the Daggett?
And Daggett.
Yeah. God, they never got to that point. I guess it was a little too hee hee for because that Battlestar Galactica got dark. The
right.
reboot.
Yeah.
There you go. I'll just throw my one out there. It's the one anytime anything similar remotely like this comes up or whatever, it's the first thing that comes into my mind. It was a very young, maybe 8 or 9 years old, I'm guessing, Clint Howard on Star Trek in the episode titled the Carbonite Maneuver, as the character Baylock drinking Tranya. Tranya. Have some Tranya. Yeah, exactly. It was like pinkish. It's like pinkish orange, actually. And they all sat there and drank it. So anyway, that's the first thing I think about. It's like 1966, I believe.
God love Clint Howard.
Yeah.
Well,
Clint Howard
when you smoked as much and drank as much, milk of magnesia looks delicious.
There you go.
Well, Clint Howard's the whole reason MTV stopped doing the Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh, is that right?
Well, because it was supposed to be like a gag award.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. And then when they gave it to Clint Howard, he seemed so thrilled and honored by the award. They never had the heart to give it out again.
Right.
Because they didn't want to belittle his moment.
Gotcha.
Oh, man.
Interesting. Very interesting. There you go. All right. I'm sure his brother Ron takes care of him. So.
Possibly. And his and Ron's daughter's not doing too bad either.
No, not so much. Not so much. Anyway. All right. So let's do our top three, our actual top three for this evening. Actual top three for this evening, folks, is top 3 favorite sour IPAs.
Now, one of the caveats on this is we always disqualify the brewery on hand.
Correct.
So that way we can't be seen as brown nosing, kissing ass.
Right. Yes.
Or being
there will be no sour IPAs from Providence Brewing because
I will give a call out to it may not be fair, but I'll give a call out to it's not fair.
There you go. It's not fair. It won't be fair to name it's not fair as one of the right,
because
exactly.
that was one of the COVID era sour IPAs you put out.
Right.
Yeah,
that was a yummy beer.
There you go. So all right. So why don't we start with Mr. Efren? Why don't you, as our guest, go first? Give us your top 3 sour IPAs.
Sure.
Sour IPAs.
I'm going to start off with Sierra Nevada, Wild Little Thing. That is a delicious, hazy, just a great sour IPA.
Good, nice. It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, and it's a great, and it's one of the more approachable ones, so it's a good gateway into sour IPAs.
Yep.
Efren's gone plaid again.
Yes.
Oh, come on.
You know that in Rhode Island, the plaid is just red and black.
This is true.
that red and black pattern, that is, I refer to that as the Rhode Island uniform.
Rhode Island red.
Rhode Island red.
There you go.
I'm going to also go with a New Belgium
sour
IPA. It's funny. It's like I like just simple stuff. And this is just a really nice, refreshing one.
Fair enough. Very nice.
And that for a third, it's a tough one. I'm gonna go.
You're allowed an honorable mention if you've got more than one.
It's a tough call.
What would be?
You know what? I'm gonna have to think about that last one.
Get back
Okay.
to us. Come back.
Yeah.
Come back with the last one afterwards.
Come back to us, Efren.
Come back to us afterwards. There you go. All right. Samurai. What are your top threes?
All right, so I'm gonna.
You doing 3, 2, 1, or
I'm gonna do 3, 2, 1. The first one, I'm gonna give a shout out to my home state, and the home state one would be Zigmeister's Sundial series. I wrote it down, Shadow and Light, because it was a whole series of sour IPAs that Matt put out, and Shadow and Light was my favorite of that series, so we're gonna go with that one. That'll be number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, and I know that you've got at least one of this breweries on your list, John, because they kind of specialize in
sour IPAs.
In sour IPAs. So it's just like kind of their whole catalog could be my number 2. But I'm going to go with
sour IPA brewery. It wouldn't be mistaken to say that they brew other styles, but
like sours.
Mostly this.
Yeah, sour IPAs and sours.
And sours. Yeah, right.
Yeah, sours. But I got to go with Hudson Valley's Graven Image. That beer just blew me off my feet when I had it.
It's a great beer. Graven Image is a great beer. It's amazing.
Yeah.
My number one, actually, one of the times I had it, I was with a group of co-workers, and we're actually in the Wild Colonial, which is one of my favorite places to drink in Rhode Island. Johnny, you've never made it to Wild Colonial yet, have you?
I have not been to Wild Colonial, no.
It's just an amazing place. I just love the feel of that place. And one of the coworkers I had, he got to understand that if the bartender came to him first, he said, "No, I'm just going to drink whatever he's drinking," and he pointed to me. And when we got to Wild Colonial, he saw something on the list and he was going to order, and I'm like, "Chad, no, trust me on this one." He goes, "Oh, what'd I do wrong?" I'm like, and I looked at the bartender and said, "We'll have 2 Exogenesis." Finback's Exogenesis is one of my favorite beers out there. Hands down, my favorite sour IPA to date. I'm sure there are some that may topple it at some point, but that is such a good beer.
It is. That's a very good beer too.
And I'm gonna
I think anything from Finback is a great beer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't think I've had a bad one from them. I've been to both the
think so
locations and staggered out of both of them because you just want everything that they've got on tap.
Yeah. I used to love taking the commuter rail down to New York, and whenever I passed by the brewery, I'd always kind of like give them props on my way down to New York City, and it was just kind of awesome to see them. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
That's what we do here.
And I know you have an honorable mention, and it's the same honorable mention I have, I'm pretty sure. So.
Yeah, so my honorable mention is actually giving props to my adopted state, and this is Long Live, and their cereal milk series, the 2.0.
2.0, right, exactly.
Yeah,
tasted just like friggin' Crunch Berries.
It did.
If Crunch Berries were a sour IPA.
If Crunch Berries were a sour IPA, this is what it would taste like, right?
Oh, that was... Yeah, so I had that at the bar. I'm like, I need to get some of these for John. So I brought some down for John. I think I gave this for Christmas a couple of years ago.
It was Christmas. Yeah, we had you brought him over. We had a bunch of beer, and it was a
bunch.
A bunch. Yeah, we had a lot of beer on Christmas a couple of years ago. So.
Yeah, it's nearly impossible to find something from Armando that you can't like.
Oh, I've tried. Like I said, doing research.
Right.
Yeah.
Research.
I've tried as well, but I can't seem to find anything. And so, and I keep drinking it, and I don't find anything.
Yeah.
That's bad.
That bastard.
Exactly. All right. So
And
my
a
top
great
threes.
head of hair.
There you go.
So, ironically enough, Johnny's always wearing caps. He's got a fantastic head of hair. He's just too damn lazy to comb it.
I'm totally lazy. I way too much going on. I can't be bothered to do my hair
Everyone's
every
like,
day.
oh,
I mean, come on.
The first time I ever saw him without his hat on, I'm like, "You're not bald?"
and it was probably. I mean, we've known each other how many years? 10,
At least
12?
10.
Yeah,
At
more.
least 10.
But it's probably about 6 years after he met me that it was the first time he saw me without a cap on.
It was like 8 years after I met
8
you,
years,
actually.
maybe, yeah. So anyway, all right. Anyway, so my top threes. I'll start with my honorable mention. Same thing. Long live Cereal Milk 2.0. My number 3 is Finback's Moire Blood Orange.
It's a beautiful beer.
That's a great beer. Moire Blood Orange is amazing. The vanilla, the orange in it. It's just
If a creamsicle were a sour IPA.
if a creamsicle were a sour IPA, this is it. So, such a great beer. My number 2, Hermit Thrush up in Vermont.
That's a great one.
Their green sour IPA I mean they make a bunch, but green's up there.
Shout out to Brattleboro.
Shout out to Brattleboro. Shout out to Brattleboro, Vermont. Was up until one ironic little known fact about Brattleboro, Vermont. Up until, I don't know, what was it, maybe 10 or so years ago, maybe a little bit more, you could actually walk around the town naked if you wanted to.
Oh,
yep.
That's not a good idea.
Not a good idea. It was not at all a good idea.
Another interesting fact about Brattleboro, there is a restaurant in Brattleboro where one of the dining rooms, I think you get charged.
Hold that thought. I did not. I just want to point that out. I've never. I'm not.
And the town of Brattleboro thanks you.
Did not.
But there's a restaurant in Brattleboro where I believe that if you dine in one of the dining rooms, you are actually taxed differently because you're actually eating in New Hampshire.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, little known fact, that is where Sigourney Weaver invented
the left-hand turn signal.
The left-hand turn signal. Yeah, in Brattleboro.
Which comes around like that's like a circle. It just comes.
Was it in that restaurant? And which side was she sitting on?
Right.
I think it was during a period where she was doing her speed walking.
Right. The nude speed walking around Brattleboro Square. Right.
Yep. That was about 82, I believe, right?
82, 83, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Exactly.
Yep.
So
we're gonna get letters
I remember
from her management. A cease and desist.
Right. Exactly. Anyway, all right.
Like anybody listens.
Exactly. And my number 1, if you didn't guess it already, Hermit Thrush. I mean, I could probably list about 6 or 12.
You said Hermit Thrush again.
Did I say Hermit Thrush?
Yes,
Hudson Valley.
There you go.
You say, hold on one second. Yeah, no, this is good.
Straight up beer.
It's straight up beer. Yeah, okay.
But there's like 19.
My number 1.
ounces.
My number what?
How many ounces is it?
19.2. It's only a 5.5% beer though, so
still 19.2 ounces.
Yeah, that's true. No, my number 1, Hudson Valley. Hudson Valley. I could probably list about 12 Hudson Valleys, but my number 1 is definitely Evening Land. Evening Land's 8% sour, so technically a sour double IPA if you want to go there.
Nice.
But I mean, Amulet's there too. Holocene, Fauna, Total Internal Reflection. I mean, I could go on and on. But Evening Land's probably my number 1 from Hudson Valley. Such a great sour IPA. Anyway, those are mine. So there you go.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
All right, so I finally came to a decision. I love Urban Artifacts.
Oh yes.
Yes. Oh,
and
such a great beer.
Oh yeah.
Their gadget is just amazing.
I'm not sure I've had that. Note to self.
I have not had that. Yeah. Yes, I'm writing it down right now.
They I don't know how many, like, I think it's like I don't know, like 2,000 pounds of blueberries and raspberries.
Is that right?
Oh, that's a sell right there.
And it's just over the top. Over the top.
Note
we like
to
over the top.
self, find gadget from Urban Artifacts tonight. There you go. Cool. The sour IPAs. I mean, look, the first time I ever had a sour IPA, I'm like, all right, I know I love IPAs. I know I love sours. I got to put these two together. It wasn't as sour IPAs are not as far as granted. Obviously, if you're drinking sours first and you're drinking IPAs first, obviously, it's not that far of a walk. But as far as the first time you ever had an IPA, like a true, like really bitter, resiny IPA, obviously, it's like. It's a palate, wow, what the hell's that, And the same thing with sours, right? But it's really not the two of them together really lend. It's a very unique style.
It's a beautiful marriage
It's a very, very beautiful marriage.
of two people that really have no right being together.
Yeah, exactly. Well put.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I it's funny. It's like our tattoo of blood is very simple, very simple. It's just 2-row mosaic. It's a smash, and then we just douse it with, I'd say about close to 10 pounds of hibiscus, fresh hibiscus, and we make a tea out of it. Yeah, and then but it's it's just there's you're right. There's something beautiful about an IPA and a sour combined.
Yeah.
And so you take that and you inoculate it, or?
Yep.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. Very nice. All right. Anything? What's the future hold for Providence?
Well, ultimately, I mean, I think like every.
Well, wait a second. Providence Brewing or the town of Providence?
Providence Brewing.
The town of Providence is going to burn itself to the ground.
About to ask Efren what the town of Providence holds in the future.
Yeah, the city of Providence, the Renaissance city.
Yes, because it's funny because in Providence, just so you know, you never go downtown in Providence. You go down city in Providence.
Down city.
Yeah. Down city.
Absolutely. It's not a town; it's a city.
It's a city.
A small city, but it's a city.
I'll tell you a funny fact in a minute, but finish your thought.
Yeah, no, I think like every meddling brewery owner, I mean, the hope is to someday have like a really nice, beautiful, fancy operation, beautiful building, kind of like like Stone did with their their build up. Yeah, right. Just like just dining and hotel, and I don't want the hotel part. I mean, I'd love to have the dining aspect of it, and just like this beautiful place. It's an escape. Turn it into like a beautiful escape.
Right, beautiful.
Yeah,
that's quite literally beautiful.
Yeah,
there's a comment here,
and he's right. Yeah. It's funny because they actually have it on
huge.
Signs.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge.
It's going to be the best. It's going to be the best beautiful place ever.
The best beautiful place ever. Douglas Mitch just commented. He said that down city nonsense started in the 90s. It's downtown.
Yeah, actually, he's right. No one actually says down city. Yeah. They have it on banners on the on the friggin' signpost, and everyone's just like, "Yeah, fuck you." Yeah. It's like no one pays any attention to that.
Yeah, no, Doug's absolutely right. Nobody calls it down city.
No,
I did want to bring this up. When you mentioned that, I was reading an article, and we will post the article on. I'll post the article on the Facebook page. There's somebody put out just today, in fact, came out top 6 beer trends or trends in the craft beer industry for 2022, and one of them I'll bring up right now, just to fit in with this, is what you were talking about, not specifically, but in general. Was a lot of breweries opening up separate tap rooms. So not a second brewery, if you will, just another space to have a tap room or whatever. And they're doing it. And I mean, we were talking about Other Half before. Other Half open in Rock Center. They didn't open a brewery in Rock Center. They opened a tap room in Rock Center.
Well, it's interesting because during COVID, you saw a lot of breweries open not so much a tap room, but a beer garden.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Because it would be an outdoor space, right? We had Rhode Island had a few open during that.
Right.
Yep.
Right. The Guild opened one right across the right by the pedestrian bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Right. There was one downtown Providence. Whose was that?
Well, you had Beer on Earth had theirs on Fountain.
Yeah, but that's where the brewery is.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. So yeah.
It's a separate beer garden away from the brewery that they opened up.
Gotcha.
So it was similar to a tap room, which is an outdoor tap room.
Because the Guild's up in Pawtucket, and they had their beer garden just off the pedestrian bridge.
I think Long Live did that too.
I think you're right. I think that's what I was thinking of. Long Live had a beer garden down in downtown Providence.
Wait, downtown or down city?
But the
by the pedestrian bridge, or is it
little known fact? Down city, Doug's absolutely right. In the 90s, was the term was coined in the 90s by Sigourney Weaver.
Irrefutable.
Ironically.
Yeah. And Down City was the place where she did a lot of her R&D.
She did.
She did because you can only go left in that Down City area.
area. Right,
So many
exactly.
places, yeah.
Right?
But actually, one of the brew pubs in Providence had a beer garden as well, separate from the brew pub. There's only two. There's Union Station and the other one I can't remember.
Union Station is the other one is
Trilogy.
Trinity.
Trinity had a beer garden separate from the
there you
pub.
go. Yeah, gotcha.
So there's a couple that hit downtown.
What's the what's the? It's not too far from Trinity. What's the one beer bar that's right by Trinity?
The beer bar that's by Trinity?
Yeah. Exactly. Starts
You
with
talking
an L,
about
maybe,
Bayberry?
if I'm thinking about maybe is it maybe?
No, Bayberry's across the 95.
No, it's right. It's like maybe the next block or right near.
Oh, it's where Brian Alt drank before he went to the to the Providence Arts Center.
I'm trying to think of the name. The only reason I'm saying it is I remember actually they didn't do this by mistake. They were just trying to get rid of the keg because I actually asked while I was there. But we sat down and I actually got a pint glass of KBS, Founders KBS, for $5.
Wow.
Yeah.
They're trying to get rid of the keg.
They wanted to kick the keg. They were just like, come on, take it, enjoy it. Here. I'm like, okay, sure, why not?
Okay. You don't hear that too often.
Well, I mean, when you think about it, it's not like a pint glass is 14 ounces. It's not 16 ounces. It's 14 ounces. A shaker pint is 14 ounces.
You talking Murphy's?
No, I'll think of it, but it's 14 ounces. And normally you get the normal pour of a Founders KBS can be 10 or 12 ounces. So you're only talking 2 ounces more. It's not really that much more, but it was $5. The size of the pour was a little bit more. It wasn't that much more, but it was $5 is my point. So
there's really not a lot of craft beer bars close to Trinity.
It was right by Trinity. I'll think of it. It'll come to me. But anyway. If anybody's interested, I will put it. It's not Murphy's. I'll think of it.
No. I was going to say Murphy's. Great shout out to them and their steak and cheese sub.
Sure, absolutely.
So
that's why I know it wasn't Murphy's. It wasn't.
For me, the closest craft beer bar that I remember to them was actually Malted Barley. But
anyway,
and we could spend a long time talking about those friggin' pretzels.
There you go. And then, ironically, you said that the Malted Barley Appreciation Society was actually something that a guest of ours a couple months ago, Chris Guzme, is a member of.
I was not aware of that.
And I actually did a presentation for the Malted Barley Appreciation Society back.
But we're not. That's not the appreciation of the bar. It's the appreciation of malting barley.
It's the appreciation of the bar. It's the appreciation of malted barley.
The act of malting.
Act of malting barley. Yes, exactly. So, all right. Quick funny story that you wanted to talk. I wanted to talk about a minute ago. I mentioned or whatever. Dave, you know what I'm talking about. The bug that's on top of the extermination place right near 95.
Nibbles wood away.
Yes, yeah. Jess actually will that's one of the things, like Roadside America is like a site that she follows or whatever. So anyway, anytime we go anywhere, she takes a look at the website and sees what she has to go see, right? And what we have to go see. And that was one of the things. So she wanted to get a good picture of it. Now I went down the road, and you can only from the street that it's on, the side street that building is on, and the bug is on the top or whatever, you can't really get a good picture of it. The only place to really get a good picture of it is from 95.
The turns.
The turns. Right? I actually pulled over into the shoulder of that highway.
And you didn't die.
Got out of the car and took a picture.
That was you.
It was me.
Yeah,
it was not Sigourney Weaver. It was me. Right.
Where's the key grip? All right, where's the key grip? Go over there and punch him in the face.
Because you know what you did to the traffic patterns on 95 in Providence. All you need is one asshole.
That's it. That day was me. It was me.
Got out of his car, ran around naked.
There you go. Right, exactly. And put my left turn signal on. Don't forget that. Right. So, anyway, all right. So, question for you before we end the show, Efren: who's winning the World Series this year?
World Series?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say the Red Sox at all times.
And who are they playing in the World Series?
It doesn't matter.
Well,
it doesn't matter.
No. It matters. It matters for this.
It just doesn't
It just
matter.
It just doesn't matter.
All those other teams, they suck. They suck.
There you go. All right.
I'm a fucking Red Sox
Are
fan,
we going to
baby.
have? Are we going to have a repeat of '86 this year? Is what I'm asking you.
Oh, I mean,
It's
are we
gonna
going to
be
wipe? Are we going to wipe New York's ass after 4 games in a row? I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, then we.
Well,
can go
don't
to
forget,
LA
it's not going to
Lakers.
be 4 games in a row because you got DeGrom and Scherzer both pitching in the World Series at that point. So I don't think you're going to win 4-0.
Yankees suck.
No.
No, we're talking about the Mets.
I'm talking about the World Series, not the
I'm sorry.
ALCS.
Sorry,
Oh, yeah,
I'm
you
still
can-
stuck on the Yankees. Yankees.
No, you can beat the fuck out of the Yankees. As
You can
much
do what
as
you want,
We,
yeah,
we
that's
don't
fine.
care about that.
Well, you know what? I would love to see a Phillies Red Sox World Series. It's funny.
Okay.
Growing up in the 70s, we didn't have color TV,
Mhm.
which is kind of odd for anybody who doesn't know what a black and white TV looked like.
Or
and-
knew that
and
you
when-
had to get up to go change the channel.
Right? Yeah. Get up and go change the channel.
when we finally got a color TV, and my dad, just a little known fact, my dad grew up with Louis Tiant in Cuba, and they played baseball together.
Very nice.
Um,
That's awesome.
So whenever my dad would watch baseball, it would be on the weekends when Louis wasn't pitching, and they would watch the games. They would always watch the Yankees or the Red Sox. Anyway, when we got a color TV set, and I realized that the Red Sox used to wear white or powder blue, there was only one other team that I didn't know about that wore powder blue and red, and that turned out to be the Phillies. So
Phillies,
it's
right.
always been one of my favorite teams growing up. So
And
that would
ironically-
be my ultimate.
And ironically, who won the World Series in 07?
Doesn't matter.
Well, it was the Red Sox. Who won the World
Yeah.
Series in 08? It was the Phillies.
matter.
So-
It doesn't matter.
All right.
Doesn't matter.
So, anyway.
I'm not bitter.
And an interesting thing about one of my favorite stories about Red Sox fans is how, let's face it, there's 3 cities in the U.S. whose fans I really enjoy.
Mhm.
There's New York, there's Boston, there's Chicago. Because not only do they understand the game and respect the game,
Right.
they're also able to laugh at themselves every now and then.
Yeah, right.
Right?
And one of my favorite
you're
stories
absolutely right.
about the Red Sox fans is it was an interleague game in San Diego. The Red Sox are there playing the Padres. And the Red Sox, I think, had just scored a run. And so they started playing Sweet Caroline.
Mm-hmm.
And the Red Sox fans are getting into it. They're singing along with it. And they break away from it. And on the big board, they fucking rickroll them. It's Rick Astley. And they put a camera on the Red Sox fans. They're all laughing their asses off. And then finally, as one, they all just went,
There you go.
you got us.
You
It
got
is one of the best Rick rolls I've ever seen.
That's funny.
Yep.
That's funny.
Yeah, Red Sox fans, we can laugh at ourselves and we can laugh at the Yankees. So I mean,
There
it's
you go.
Well, it's because you take those 3 towns, and those towns have seen success, they've seen heartbreak,
Sure.
yeah.
and they've seen
Oh,
rock bottom.
When the Cubbies won the World Series, that was a well-deserved treat.
I was thrilled when the Sox won the World Series. I
Yeah.
was thrilled when the Cubs won the World Series.
The
Yeah.
winningest franchise, World Series winningest franchise in this century is the Boston Red Sox. 04, 07, 2013, 2018. 4 World
Wow.
Series in the last 21 years.
So near about
Who
20%.
says cybermetrics doesn't work?
Right? There you go. So, anyway, all right. On that note, we will wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. Efren, by the way, don't sign off. We'll talk to you for a minute after we finish the signing off the show. If you
A
will.
hot minute.
Hot minute, yeah. Anyway, we'll wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and those of you who are just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerum.com. That's LAGERROOM.com.
He
And
does
please
this
remember-
every show, Efren.
And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and, of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room.
It's kind of impressive.
Remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday night around 6:30-ish. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music Podcast, and iHeartRadio as well. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Drink a lot of beer, but drink responsibly, and we will talk to you soon, folks. Take care.
And
Cheers.
drink local.
And yes, drink local.
Thanks,
Drink local.
Doug.
Yes, thank you, Doug. Enjoy. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.